It's not the world controlling you. Life often feels unfair. Problems arrive uninvited. Criticism comes without warning. Plans collapse, expectations fail. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, things simply do not go your way. In moments like these, it is easy to believe that the world is against you. It feels as though circumstances are in control, pulling the strings of your emotions, dictating your mood, shaping your identity. But Stoic philosophy offers a radical shift in perspective. Epictetus taught that it is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgment about those events. Read that carefully, not the event, the judgment. Two people can experience the same failure. One sees it as proof of incompetence, the other sees it as feedback for improvement. Two people can receive the same criticism. One feels attacked and broken, the other listens, reflects, and grows. The external event is identical, the internal interpretation is not. This is where power begins. Most people spend their lives trying to control what cannot be controlled: other people's opinions, the outcome of every effort, the certainty of tomorrow. And because these things are unstable, their peace becomes unstable too. But the Stoics divided life into two simple categories: what is within your control, what is outside your control. Within your control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your values. Outside your control, reputation, weather, other people's behavior, the past, the future. Suffering intensifies when we attach our emotional stability to what is outside our control. Imagine trying to command the wind. You would exhaust yourself, shouting at the sky. Yet many people do this daily, arguing with reality, resisting what already is, demanding that life follow their script. The Stoic does something different. The Stoic asks, what part of this situation is truly mine to command? If someone insults you, you cannot control their words, but you can control whether those words define you. If you fail, you cannot rewrite the past, but you control the lesson you extract from it. If uncertainty scares you, you cannot guarantee the future, but you control your preparation for it. This shift is subtle, but transformative. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would meet difficult people, selfish people, ungrateful people. He did not expect the world to behave perfectly. Instead, he trained his mind to remain steady regardless of what appeared. That is strength. Strength is not forcing the world to bend to you. Strength is refusing to let the world bend your character. When you wake up and immediately blame the day for your mood, you surrender control. When you blame others for your reactions, you surrender control. When you say, "They made me angry," you give away authority over your own emotional state.
No one makes you angry. They present a stimulus. Your interpretation creates the anger. Between what happens and how you respond, there is a space, and in that space lies your freedom. Most people react automatically. The Stoic responds intentionally. Reaction is impulsive. Response is chosen. Reaction is emotional slavery. Response is disciplined freedom. This is not about suppressing emotions. It is about mastering them, not denying frustration, but guiding it, not eliminating fear, but standing firm despite it. The world may remain chaotic, people may remain unpredictable, circumstances may remain imperfect, but your inner world, your thoughts, your judgments, your principles, that territory belongs to you. And once you truly understand this, something changes. You stop arguing with reality. You stop expecting fairness from the universe. You stop demanding control over what was never yours. Instead, you focus on what has always been yours, your mind. And when you realize that your peace does not depend on the world's behavior, but on your interpretation of it, you begin to reclaim your power. Because it was never the world controlling you, it was your unexamined thoughts about it. The power is in your response. Every single day, life tests you. Sometimes the test is obvious: failure, rejection, loss. Sometimes it is subtle: a sarcastic comment, being ignored, a plan that doesn't go as expected. The event happens in seconds, but what follows inside you can last for hours, even years. This is where your power lives. Not in preventing difficulty, not in controlling outcomes, but in choosing your response. Most people believe strength means overpowering obstacles. Stoicism teaches something different. True strength is self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought. If you constantly replay insults, your mind becomes hostile. If you constantly rehearse fears, your mind becomes anxious. If you constantly nurture discipline, your mind becomes resilient. The world throws the first punch, but you decide whether the fight continues inside you. Imagine this: someone insults you. In one version of reality, you react instantly. Your voice rises, your pride flares. You replay their words all day. You feel disrespected, diminished, wounded. In another version, you pause. You ask yourself, is this within my control? Is their opinion a fact or just noise? Does my character change because of their words? That pause, that tiny space, changes everything. The Stoics believe that between stimulus and response, there is freedom. That freedom is the birthplace of power.
Epictetus taught that no person has power over your mind unless you give it to them. Think about that. If someone can ruin your entire day with a sentence, then you have handed them control over your inner world. But when you learn to pause, to examine your first impulse, you reclaim authority. This does not mean you become emotionless. It means you become deliberate. Anger may rise, disappointment may appear, fear may whisper, but instead of obeying immediately, you observe, you breathe, you assess, you choose. And the choice may be silence, it may be calm correction, it may be walking away, it may be using the criticism as fuel. Your response shapes your identity more than the event ever could. When you fail, your response defines whether it becomes a scar or a lesson. When you are rejected, your response determines whether you shrink or grow. When you are challenged, your response reveals your character. Weakness reacts, strength evaluates. Weakness seeks revenge, strength seeks improvement. Weakness asks, why is this happening to me? Strength asks, what can I learn from this? Life will not stop testing you. You will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will be underestimated. But each moment is training. Think of your mind like a muscle. If you react impulsively every time, you strengthen impatience. If you practice restraint, you strengthen discipline. If you choose perspective over panic, you strengthen clarity. Over time, this becomes who you are. A person who cannot be easily provoked, a person who does not collapse under pressure, a person who remains steady while others lose control. And that steadiness is intimidating, not because it is loud, but because it is unshakable. The world expects reaction. It rarely expects composure. When chaos appears and you remain calm, you shift the balance of power. Because now, the situation does not own you. Your emotions do not own you. Other people do not own you. You own yourself. And when you own yourself, no insult can truly diminish you, no setback can permanently break you, no external force can define you. The event is temporary. Your response is transformative. So, the next time life tests you, remember, you may not control what happens, but you always control who you become in response to it. And that is where your real power lives.
Control yourself. Control your life. There comes a moment in life when you realize something profound. The battle was never out there. It was always within. Many people spend years trying to rearrange the external world, changing jobs, changing relationships, changing environments, hoping that peace will finally arrive once circumstances improve. But peace is not found in rearranging the outside. It is built by stabilizing the inside. Stoicism teaches that self-control is not restriction, it is liberation. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, commanded armies, and faced betrayal, plague, and war. Yet his greatest focus was not controlling Rome, it was controlling himself. He constantly reminded himself that character, discipline, and judgment were the only true possessions no one could take from him. You may not rule an empire, but you rule your habits. You rule your reactions, you rule your standards, and those determine the direction of your life. When you lack self-control, life feels chaotic. Impulses dictate decisions, emotions override logic. Comfort becomes more important than growth. But when you learn to govern yourself, something shifts. You wake up when you said you would wake up. You keep promises you made to yourself. You act according to principles, not moods. That is power. Seneca warned that a person who is not master of themselves is a slave, even if they appear successful. A person may have wealth, status, influence, but if anger controls them, if fear dictates their choices, if desire manipulates their direction, they are not free. Self-control is the foundation of freedom. Consider this. If you cannot control your temper, someone else can control you by provoking it. If you cannot control your desires, the world can manipulate you with temptations. If you cannot control your focus, distractions will own your time. But when you discipline your mind and actions, you become difficult to manipulate, difficult to shake, difficult to intimidate, difficult to derail. Controlling yourself does not mean living rigidly or without joy. It means aligning your actions with your values. It means choosing long-term strength over short-term pleasure. It means choosing integrity over approval. It means choosing growth over comfort. Life begins to change when you stop asking, "How can I control everything around me?" and start asking, "How can I control myself better?" Because once you control your habits, you shape your days. When you shape your days, you shape your future. And when you shape your future, you shape your life. The Stoic understands something powerful. Circumstances are unpredictable, but character can be consistent. The world may be unstable, but your principles can remain firm. When setbacks come, and they will, you do not collapse, you adapt. When success comes, and it might, you do not become arrogant, you remain grounded. This inner stability becomes your anchor. You are no longer tossed around by praise or criticism, no longer inflated by success or destroyed by failure. No longer dependent on perfect conditions to perform well. You act well because that is who you choose to be. And that is the highest level of control. Control over the self leads to clarity. Clarity leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to stronger outcomes. Gradually, almost quietly, your life transforms. Not because the world became easier, but because you became stronger.
So before you try to command your environment, before you demand fairness from life, before you wish people would change, master your impulses, master your discipline, master your thoughts. Because when you control yourself, you control your direction. And when you control your direction, you control your life.